YouTube does not push my videos or pretty much anybody's, even if you're subscribed and hit the bell notification. You actually have to go to my channel manually yourself to find the videos and watch them. So if you like what you're seeing here, the information that I provide, the philosophical essays, the cerebral content, the book reviews, etc., you're going to have to manually go to my YouTube channel and find the videos. I post new videos every day, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for the video essays in particular. I'm not human. And this is a bigger program. Those who do actually like me and played a part in this were just playing out a script. And those who don't like me were playing a part in this and were just doing what they wanted. The purpose of my entire life has been to make things black and white. Continuing on beyond all of this, when I got to Dayton, Ohio, they sent me there right around Christmas time of 2018. I remember going to my, sleeping at my friend Brian Stegall's house that night as I was starting to move everything out of my apartment. And it was in the process of getting sent over to Dayton. They're good people. Brian Stegall and his wife. His wife is a physical therapist. I think they still live in Omaha, actually, Bellevue area. Got over to Dayton. Tried to sink my teeth into all of the opportunities over there. However, I was basically stuffed into a corner. Didn't get any help from my leadership. And then I tried to sink my teeth into spirituality, my faith. So I found a church nearby. Really, at the aid of my friend Timothy Millard. He really got me started on this journey, along with all the pain I was dealing with. When I was in Omaha, I continued it over in Dayton. And the second church I went to, Grace Christian Fellowship. And I think this is the rub. This is the difficulty of why I've had so much trouble with my romantic relationships. Well, why my brain is a little bit broken. While I was there, it was almost like they knew I was going to come to them specifically. Great people. Amazing people. But the parallels that I had in my life to what eventually ended up happening later on, it was like they knew what was going to happen and they were trying to prepare me for it. There was one specific woman in that church, her name is Tiffany, who was married with 4 children. Her husband and she were very unstable. It was like fire and gasoline. And nevertheless, when they were stable, I got along really well with Nathan. I got along really well with Tiffany. But I remember one night, a house that I had bought down the street, it was Darst Avenue. I just sold it, by the way. She had a trauma-related incident with her husband. No abuse, just trauma. Well, I mean, I guess it is abuse, but it wasn't like physical. She came over to my house because she needed some help. There are other people she could have gone to, other women who were not busy at that time. Yes, it's going where you think it's going. And I brought her in because I wanted to help her. And then I realized after about 20 minutes of talking with her, oh, that's why she's here. So I eventually started trying to usher her out, and did accomplish my goal in that regard. So but that situation continued for the rest of my time while I was there at Grace Christian Fellowship. And this was many years back now. So, and those people don't watch these videos, so I'm not super stressed about them seeing this and being irritated by it. It wasn't just them, though. After I made it clear I wasn't going to do anything with that, because I don't mess with people in that way, then collections of other women at that same church start to present themselves to me in such a way. All of them either in relationships or married, but that just kept on happening. And this was so frustrating and difficult for me that I eventually had to stop going to that church. And I remember when I finally made the decision, I was at a meeting with some friends at their house, friends of at the church, but I was at their house, and they kind of picked up on the fact that I had made that decision, and then they just gave a constant stream of women from the church in front of me trying to keep me from leaving. I remember this distinctly. So I was like, yeah, I gotta leave. I gotta go. And I did. But this paralleled with some other stuff that happened later on in my life, as if it was trying to prepare me for those things later on. And there was also another friend of mine. At the time, she was living in Hawaii, so I went to visit her, who, without saying it directly, made it clear that she was into polyamorous interactions, because she was married to another friend of mine. And that she wanted to partake in such a relationship with me. I wasn't necessarily planning on doing it, wasn't necessarily planning on not doing it, but I was planning on visiting her, which I did. And her husband wasn't there for the first 5 or 6 days. I couldn't bring myself to do anything, because it was never something that I was designed to do. It was never something that I wanted to do necessarily. It goes against my instinct. But I remember seeing written on her wall basically affirmations to herself, how she was trying to do something she really didn't want to do, just like me. Almost as if I felt that this wasn't going to happen if I didn't do it now. She made the compromise because her husband was already into that kind of thing, and that was basically the agreement. You got to let this happen, or we don't get married. She's a very good woman. She is. She's got a good heart. She's a good woman. And this was her one sin. Sin, right? I don't know. It was never something I planned. It's never something I necessarily wanted. But there were so many pieces that kept on, hearkening to me to do this, that I was like, do you really want this, God? And so I was like, okay, I guess we're going there. But I couldn't bring myself to do it. And I remember we had gone to Chipotle afterwards. a few days later when her husband got back. And I remember seeing her outside the car, her and her husband both broken down in tears. I don't think they expected me to see them crying, but they were. As if I was supposed to do that, but I didn't. So my mentality was pretty messed up.